Hey everyone, welcome back to Let's Play Chrono Trigger. When we left off, we had fought against the Son of Sun in the Sun Palace, and then gotten our Moonstone charged into a Sunstone at the Sun Keep after some thievery hijinks. Before I begin this episode, I do feel the need to begin with a bit of an apology, because I actually missed something when I was fighting against the Son of Sun in the last episode. I missed the fact that you could steal a black mail from him, which absorbs shadow attacks if you equip it, so shame on me. At any rate, when we left off, we had parked here near the Sunken Desert because that's where we're going to go next. Before I do that, though, I want to switch the party around a little bit because in this episode, or in this side quest, we want the premium to be on party members who can cast water spells. Because we are in the desert, and of course, water is generally at a premium in the desert, so you want to go with that. Now, I chose not to go with Ayla in this battle because the boss that you can fight in here, you can't really steal very much, or certainly nothing on the level of a blackmail from him, so no need to really bring her along. So let's go ahead and head into the Sunken Desert and see what we can find. And we find, as you might imagine, a lot of sand. Now, if you try to move, the sand's going to start moving with you, so you need to be careful in regards to how you are moving so you don't get swept away. And at certain points in the sand, you're going to encounter enemies, like so. Hello there, fellas. The Mohavore and the Hexapod. Okay, now, what you need to be doing here is have one of your party members, probably Marley would be your best bet since her attack is low, cast water or ice spells, or you could just toss Magus at them and, well, that'll pretty much take care of that. But have a party member cast water, and then have your other party members do the attacking insofar as trying to get things taken care of. A couple things I'll mention. One of the things that made Magus' attack so dang good was the Sunshades. I equipped that on him, as you'll recall, at the end of the last side quest, the Sunstone side quest. And what that serves to do is that ups all of your attacks, all of them, physical, magical, whole 9 yards, and that includes double text and triple text too, by 25%, which, as you might imagine, is a pretty nifty thing to have. In addition, I need to equip Marley with her best weapon, the Valkyrie, and go ahead and get her all suited up. Actually, while I'm on that topic, I'm going to go ahead and give Marley the gold stud that I just waltzed right past. Okay, Dark Eternal. I might equip that later just to show that off. But the gold stud will drop her magic use 75%, which, as you might imagine, will be really helpful. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show off the Glacier double tech that we just picked up in this battle. As it appears, everybody seems to be focusing on mages. Hooray. Alright, so here's Glacier, a watery ice. Wow, very powerful ice attack. Nice. And Magus should be able to soften these guys up with his super duper magical attacks, and then leave that for the rest of the crew to go ahead and take them out. Alright, well, that looks to be pretty much it. And, well, there we go, Magus leveling up, that's always nice. Okay, so move along through here, and we're going to run into another enemy as we hit this treasure. Alrighty, Aeon Suit. Yep, there you are, my little beasties. Alright, not much to report on that battle. We did, however, have Frog hit the level 41 club, as you see there. And you notice these enemies can do some pretty good damage, so I would recommend definitely keep on top of your healing. Well, you should be doing that anyway, of course, but definitely be sure to keep on top of it And also, keep an eye on your magic, because what's going to end up happening is this is actually a 2-room dungeon, pretty much. And let me take these guys out here. Okay, so this is basically a 2-room, well, doggone it. Okay, here we go again. As I was saying, this is a 2-room dungeon. There we go. And what you're going to find, first of all, by the way, Marley leveled up. Hooray! What you're going to find here is, obviously, go through... Good grief. Okay, let me take these guys. And the first room is full of all these enemies, and you see, well, they're handing out pretty decent experience because my whole party's already leveled up once. I believe we may end up having one more. I mean, while we're going after these guys, let's go ahead and see if we can take them all out. And yeah, here we go. One more set here. Okay, and this room is full of all those enemies which we just took out. Now, I'm going to go ahead and top off my healing and magic. Not like that. I'm going to go ahead and top off my healing and magic before I come into the next room. Now, why might you ask? Well, as I just mentioned, it's a 2-room dungeon. And there is a nice little boss waiting for us in the other room. Now, you may think, well, gee, if the boss is just kind of standing there, then you can walk up to him, right? Well, what be this? See, not quite. He will pop up whenever he wants to, wherever he wants to. So that's the monster responsible for this desert. How to slayeth monsters within the earth. 'Tis a very difficult task. You ain't kidding. Alright, now he's gonna pop up wherever he wants to, and if you get caught, you get to fight him. So you gotta be careful where you run around and pick up treasure and all that razzmajazz so that you don't trigger him early. Okay, so I got all the treasures, managed to do that without triggering him. So let's see what we just picked up here. Okay, well, all the way down here, la la la. All right, we got an Aeon Helm, which we've already got one of those. We've got a Muscle Ring, which we already got that. The Memory Cap is nice. Let's see if that fits anybody here. Memory Cap, no. Prevents lock, which is good, but Dark Helm, okay. Yeah, cuts the shadow hits. With this last battle, if you have any black items, and I happen to have a black mail, you might want to think about sticking them on one of your characters, because this guy is going to deal in some shadow attacks and issues. So I'm going to take the defensive hit a little bit and see if I can put, there's a black vest, okay. So I picked all these up. Wow, that's quite a defensive hit. So you can you can absorb these shadow attacks, which will help out, because that's some of the stuff that he uses in terms of his special attacks. So now that we're pretty well set, let's go for it and see if we can find him. There you are. Mwahaha. Okay, hello, Retinite. Now, you notice he's absorbing energy from the core, so obviously, good idea to take the core out first, which we're going to end up doing. Now, given that it is a water enemy, or given that it is an enemy in the desert rather, water is the way to open up its attacks, or way to open up its vulnerabilities. Now it looks like this core is going to be gone pretty soon anyway. Okay, now once you do that, start going after the bottom part of it. And really what you want to do is you're going to get probably a couple of attacks in before it goes back up. Okay. Now you notice the attacks here, and see it heals 2 of them, which is nice, and Magus only really gets whacked a little bit. So that will be the key to being able to persevere through a lot of this guy's issues, suffice to say. You do have to watch out for that attack though, because once you start hitting that thing pretty badly, it's going to begin absorbing various party members' attack or hit points. So definitely keep on top of your healing and try to take out this guy as soon as you can, especially the bottom part, because it can get pretty vicious if you're not careful. And there went Marley, so time to bring her back. Okay. Now, what you may want to do to try to kind of mitigate some of these effects a little bit is if you've got the shadow mail on, we've got the shadow mail on those 2, what I may end up doing is just not even worry about healing her up, because then that'll lower the amount of HP that these guys can steal away. Obviously, though, that comes with a bit of a disadvantage in that if her HP stays too low, then you have to keep reviving her. But in essence, it's up to you as far as whether you want to consider taking that risk. Now, the Ret Knight's target for all that is going to change depending on how he moves. So, if you keep one of your party members too high, then that strategy might end up coming back to backfire on you if you're not careful. But in essence, if you can get this guy taken out fast, then you should be pretty decently on your way. And it looks like the equipping of the shadow mails and such is paying just absolute, complete, utter dividends here. Because in essence, they're getting the opportunity to just go in and roll over this guy and without it really threatening too much. Okay, now I should be getting reasonably close to being able to take out the bottom portion of this guy, I hope. And it should be getting relatively soon, although I might be doubling down a little too much on the attack there. Yeah, I overdid it. Okay. Like I said, you can only really probably get a couple of good hits in before you have to think about popping another Ice 2 or Water 2 or what have you. See the shadow attacks, the sand cyclone, you see the different attacks that he's going to be doing. And in essence, just keep on, like I said, keep on spamming him so that you can try to take this guy out. Once the bottom part goes, things will generally tend to get easier. So keep plugging away at that bottom part, and you should be able to... Okay, now he's stealing. Should be about... Oh crap, about half of his hit points. That's not good. Now, he's not going to do that pull attack all the time, but you still need to be careful for it, and definitely be sure to try to keep your characters alive as best you can so that you don't have to worry about, especially with the 2 guys I've got hasted up, so I don't have to worry about continuing to renew that haste with Marley, just in case things happen to go south. Okay, yeah, keep using that shadow attack. You just keep spamming that sucker on, because the more you use that, the better it is for me. There you go, Frog. Mass immune him to death. And there we go. There goes the bottom part. Now, that, of course, obviously doesn't mean that the battle is over, but it gets easier when you've only got one part attacking you instead of two. Also gives me a little bit of freedom to be able to turn Frog into a healer, as well as Marley. Of course, she's been carrying the load as far as the healing goes. So, yeah, now we can keep them up, and well, not bad from Marley. Okay, that's not good. Now, the top half, you notice, didn't take nearly as much in the way of hit points away from Frog as did the bottom half earlier, which is another benefit as far as trying to keep things going. You notice the Ret Knight does hit pretty hard. Really any of the halves of him, except that core obviously didn't get the chance to do much of anything. But he hits pretty hard, so definitely be careful, obviously. Keep your HP up, keep that shadow mail and such on, so that you don't have to worry about trying to heal all the time. It can take some pressure away from you. And I don't know how close we are to taking out the top half, but I don't see it being too big of an issue. Aww, Frog, why didn't you double, silly boy? Oh well, no big deal. There you go. Yeah, keep spamming the shadow. You just keep hitting that, because it's not going to hurt Magus much, and it's going to help us even more. That's not good. But again, it doesn't take nearly as much as the others did, so just keep plugging away. Once you get the bottom half of the Ret Knight dead, you, of course, like I mentioned earlier, you haven't won the battle, but you've gotten a lot closer, because he is far easier, the top half is far easier to deal with than the bottom half. Of course, that having been said, you notice this battle is taking a bit, even still, so just keep going. I know there's only really so many ways I can say that without probably boring y'all to death, but that's really about it. Finally get the chance to hasten Marley. Hooray! So now she can go just as fast as the rest of the crew. Ah, come on, Frog. There we go. All right. 2,600 experience. Oh, and Magus learned Dark Mist. Nice. It be settled then. Let us inform Fiona. Okay, that's pretty much it. Just ride back out of here. We've already beat all these guys up, but grab the power tab along the way. Hee. You walk out, and before you do this, switch the party out a little bit. Mostly, add Robo into the party, and you'll see why in just a second. Thank you for routing the beasts. Unfortunately, it'll take centuries to revive the forest. I wish I could live long enough to see my wish come true. You can come for me when the job is done. May I stay behind and help Fiona? Sure thing, Robo old buddy old pal. And you see, of course, there's Robo, poor guy. I mean, he looks like he made himself into a harvester or something. Okay, so just hop in your ship and fast forward into the present. You notice the Sunken Desert's now gone. And holy crap, what was a desert is now a shrine, a cathedral. Now, if you're doing this side quest, I would recommend that you do what I'm about to do, which is go ahead and save your game. Why? Well, because during this during this sequence, this plot sequence here, there is something that's going to happen that you can fail. And you want to be careful not to do that. Here we give thanks to Fiona and Robo. Wowee. Okay, the remains of Robo. Oh, alright. And you can buy the hats that, well, we have most. Ooh, wow. Vigil hat's nice, but extremely expensive, and I don't have the money to buy them unless I sell all my stuff, so we won't bother with that. And hello, Robo. Systems reactivated. Where am I? Ah. Magus, how nice to see you. Wow, that's the first time Magus has ever heard that. For you, it was a quick hop, but for me, 400 long years have passed. The effort was worth it. The forest has grown back. Now, let us celebrate our 400th year reunion. So we all have a campfire. And this is, in my mind, one of my favorite story sequences, not only for the event that I was talking about that you can mess up on later, or in just a little bit, but for this conversation here. After 400 years of experience, I have come to think that Lavos may not be responsible for the gates. What do you mean? I have come to think that someone or something wanted us to see all this. The different events over time that we have witnessed, it is almost as if some entity wanted to relive its past. Ayla, no. When people die, elders say, see whole life pass by. 'Tis true that mortals do relive their most profound memories before death claimeth them. Yet those memories most often are sad ones. Thinking things like, if only I had done this, or I shouldn't have done that, triggers unpleasant, old memories. Will that happen when our time comes? Probably. Who knows? Is there a point in time you'd want to return to, Lucia? No, not really. I'm sorry, was that something I shouldn't have asked? It's okay. It's just something I don't like to think about too much. Lavos playeth an integral role in the fortunes of this entity. So who is this entity? And therein lies the question. And it's a question that there's been a lot of speculation on in terms of fan fictions and Chrono Trigger boards and such over the years. In fact, there's even a YouTube video up apparently about how a game theory that the entity is in fact Chrono reliving his past. I haven't watched it. I guess I might want to go and watch it at some point. Honestly though, I think it's something that's really best left to you, to speculation. I mean, who do you think the entity is, or was, or what have you? It is unknown whose memories these are. It may be something beyond our comprehension. Our journey may come to an end when we finally discover the identity of the entity. Shall we turn in for the night? Okay, sure thing. And Lucia wakes up. And there's a time gate. So, where are we, I wonder? Did I make it back to that moment? And Lucia, hating science. Wow, that's something we never would think. The password is the name of my lovely wife. Use it in an emergency. The password to what? Huh. I wonder, let's see what's going on. There's Lucia, and there's little Lucia, and there's Laura. What is this thing? Tabin says to keep away from it, but it's so dusty, I'll just... Dear me, my skirt, I'm stuck! Lucia! Lucia, help! I can't pull it out. Uh-oh. Lucia, enter the password! Stop this machine! But I don't know it, Mommy! And there it is. Thank goodness, Mommy! The password was Laura. L-A-R-A. Now, as I mentioned, you can in fact fail this. And if you do, history remains unchanged. Lucia's mother remains paralyzed, and nothing's different. Lucia. Lucia. And Lucia wakes up, sees the initial note, and then a week later, I feel like I've learned something. I'll study machines now. There will be no more accidents around here. All right, so hooray. And there's Robo waiting. Lucia, you've got a kind heart. You're always thinking of others. This is for you. It's a piece of amber I created using the sap from a tree in my forest. It took 400 years and a lot of pressure to make. I hope you'll find it useful. The Green Dream. Robo, you're so sweet. Alright, so let's see what that Green Dream does. Just a second. One time, auto reanimate. So it brings its wearer back to life. Now, I'm not sure if that's once and that's it, or if it's once a battle, or how it works. I'll have to look that up and put it in the annotation. But at any rate, side quest done. We've reanimated the forest. We've saved Laura from her paralysis. And let's go ahead and check that out firsthand. And that's, in essence, everything. Let's go up here, and you see, now, when she was paralyzed, all she did was sit in the chair. Now, what a beautiful day. I'll finish the housework and take a walk. See? She could never have done that. And it's all thanks to us. So that pretty much wraps things up for today. Whenever we come back for the next episode of Let's Play Chrono Trigger, we're going to see about maybe finding ourselves a rainbow shell. So thank you guys for joining me, and I will see y'all later.